Hey guys, Jaryd Krause, host of the Buying Online Businesses podcast, and I just recorded a really fun and super valuable podcast episode with one of my clients, and his name's Sam. And it's so great to see how much Sam has grown just from knowing him only about a year and a half ago to where he now owns his first online business, where it was making $3,000 per month, and now he's making an extra $1,000 per month on top of that by growing his online business with some of the things that we actually went away and broke down on how he could grow the business before your business, and he started implementing it along with some other strategies that he's learned as well. So we talk about in this podcast episode how to grow your online business through conversion rate optimization, through different types of email marketing, also Facebook marketing. Sam also asked me a lot of questions on how he can grow his business from where he already is right now. And that means hiring staff and VAs and how to manage staff and get the most out of them and get the best results. We also talk about how to do different types of Facebook marketing, get the most out of our Facebook marketing as well. And there's so many other things we cover in this episode. So if you're looking to buy a website and then build it, you don't want to miss out on this episode. It's very valuable. Hey guys, this is Jaryd Krause, host of the Buying Online Business podcast, and today I'm speaking to a client of mine, Sam. And initially, Sam knew nothing about websites and making money online and buying successful sites, and now he's crushing it. He's got really, really good results, and I'm stoked to bring him on the podcast. Sam, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Jaryd. Thank you very much. It's good to be here. I tell you, 2 years ago, I didn't think I was going to be on a podcast talking about online businesses, that's for sure.
And owning a successful online business too, hey?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, sweet. So Sam, we've talked about this before, but let's just bring everybody kind of up to scratch a little bit about like where you were in your life. Like you mentioned, 2 years ago, you would never have thought this was possible. But yeah, let's just chat about where you were in your life just before you sort of come across my stuff and then move into like what you've achieved, I guess.
Yeah, so I started the program in late 2017, and I had a lot of expenses, and you really quickly told me to start hustling and save as much money as I could for a business. And so I started doing the program and studying a couple of nights a week. And then in amongst that, started running cashies out of my Holden Vectra sedan with the tools in the back, the seats all down. And that was pretty much my life for a solid 12 months. I was working my ass off every night, either on the computer or out doing cashies until 8, 9 o'clock at night. Just trying to save, and I finished the program in after about 12 months or so, and towards the end of the program you start to really put in action all the steps that you learn about doing due diligence and finding the right business. And then I think it probably took me nearly another 6 months after that to find the business that I have now. There was a couple of close calls in between that were near misses. I nearly got a couple of businesses, but got outbid, and finance got in the way of another one, and there was a few little issues and stuff there, but it all sort of was meant to be, I guess, because now I've got this business which is awesome for me. It's perfectly suited for me, and it's a great first business to have, and it's doing really well. It's everything I imagined that it would be. So
yeah, it's awesome, man. I remember those ones that were so close, and it was quite frustrating, and I know it got you down a bit. And like anybody that's listening to the podcast is like, guys, you may come quite close to buying some sites, and you may not be able to, proceed because somebody else might have grabbed it before you, or something may happen. And what I said to Sam is like, well, it wasn't meant to be, and the right one will come along. You're putting in all the work that you need to do. If you're taking action, you're doing research, doing your due diligence, and finding businesses, there's going to be a time that you're going to find the right one for you. And that's what happened for you, Sam.
Yeah, that's right. And it turned out obviously really good because of all the businesses that I nearly did get and all that practice that I got to do because of not getting those businesses on my due diligence. It just got more solid, and I could really notice the difference each time I looked into a business. And then when the right business came along, was actually on the Shopify Exchange Marketplace, so they didn't have a broker. It wasn't vetted by anybody, and so I was really relying on the skills that I learned from the program to decide whether or not this was a worthy investment and a good business to buy. And by the time that I got around to doing that, I was so confident in my due diligence. I knew that this was a good business and it would be a good decision to make. So I was confident to go ahead with it. I wasn't really scared. I was more excited and, really looking forward to jumping into it. I didn't really feel that nervous or scared about it because I was so confident with where I was at and what I'd learned. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a testament to everybody listening. Testament to Sam, for everybody listening, that you've got to put in your time in the due diligence to be confident. Like looking at the first few listings, like obviously you're going to be a lot more nervous. Now, Sam, you went away, you bought a drop shipping store, and you were making about $3K a month, right?
Yeah.
And I remember you come up and we caught up, and you were telling me you were doing a bit more. You were making an extra $1K a month or something from it. That was really, really cool. So you started to grow it. So tell us a little bit more about the purchase in the store.
About what, sorry?
Tell us a little bit more about the purchase in the store.
Yeah, so the store, I purchased it. I got a pretty good deal due to some personal circumstances from the seller, and also the fact that this was like him and his partner who started this store. It was their first business, and they didn't really have much experience with online businesses. Besides, they've tried a couple of startups that didn't work, and this one actually took off pretty well. But they didn't really have the skills to be able to value a business properly. So because of those things, I managed to get myself quite a good deal out of it, where I was happy, and so were they. They were stoked with the deal as well. And it was making an average of about $3,000 a month. And when I took over the business, it was the seller had sort of started the ads that they had running sort of started to dwindle out a bit, and they were just sort of letting them run out. And I was looking at the business for maybe a month or so. So I was pretty keen, and they knew I was pretty keen, and we caught up a couple of times. And so they just sort of let the ads dwindle out a bit. So when I took over the business, it was making a little bit less than that. And then I jumped in, and when I took over, and then started running the ads myself, just with the only skills I had of marketing were what I learned off watching many YouTube videos, which turned out to be my savior. So the first month I took over was pretty slow and pretty quiet, and I was getting the hang of the ads, and I was playing around and testing a few things. And then the next month after that, the first week of the next month after that, things started to pick up, and I started to get pretty excited. It was a good feeling to see all my hard work was actually starting to pay off, and the sales really starting to pick up. And then by the end of that month, I ended up making more money that month than the business has made for the previous 10 months. And then I followed it up the next month after that as well with pretty much an equal amount. I think I only ended up with a couple of $100 difference between the 2 months. And so that was the 2 biggest months that the business had for the last 10 months. So that was pretty awesome.
Congrats. That's so good. And so since you've bought it, we've been looking at ways you can grow it, and you've gone away and you've implemented a few things that we've talked about. And I dare say that, now that we've got a lot more coming into the community, like a lot more trainings, you probably would have been learning a lot more about the Facebook ads training, and I've got some more training coming up, and bringing other experts into the group and talking about SEO. So have you learned much from that, and have you implemented much from those trainings?
Yeah, I'm definitely constantly learning new things from the training and from other videos and stuff that I watch as much as I can. I'm constantly trying to find ways to improve my skills with the time that I've got. I'm still working full time as a plumber as well, so that's been quite challenging. It's taking up a bit of my time, working a couple of hours each night on the business or trying to learn some new skills and stuff. But from what I've learned, I can definitely see so much improvement from when I first took over the business, and it's given me a much clearer vision of what's capable for the future and how things could possibly pan out.
Yeah, awesome, man. And so I obviously know, but for everybody listening, what are some of the things that you've gone away and done to grow it? Like, yeah, mentioned you were doing some Facebook ads, and well, you didn't say Facebook. You said you were doing the ads and stuff like that. But what are some things you've done to grow it, like you mentioned before, and then looking to do in the future as well?
Yeah, so when I took over, obviously started really teaching myself as best as I could the ads, the Facebook ads and the Instagram ads. I haven't done any Google AdWords, and that's probably not something I'll look into for this particular business. But so that's obviously a large growing tool. But I've made some adjustments on the actual website to make it more user-friendly. I've added a few extra options in the menu and stuff to make it easier to navigate around. All the names when you click on particular items didn't match up with their colors. So there was things like that I've played around with a lot at the start to make the site actually more user-friendly and easier to understand. Mm-hmm. Then I've ran a few email campaigns, which most of them have done quite well. So every probably 3 to sort of 6 weeks, I'll try and send an email out, and I'll maybe have new styles, or an old style will come back on stock, and I'll send an email out. And it was actually the 2nd anniversary for the business last week, so I ran an email campaign with a discount for all my valuable customers, because I couldn't have had it, without them.
Exactly.
So the email campaigns have been pretty cool. Then there's been posting to social media as well, which I've seen a bit of organic traffic coming from some other countries as well, due to like an influencer that I work with. That's probably all I've done at the moment. And then so in the future, the conversion rate was quite good, and always has been since the start of the business. So I could see real potential there to scale that with some good video ads and stuff like that. So I've just actually hired a marketing agency to help sort of scale the business to get it quite large. And now I'm in talks with another company about hiring a virtual assistant who's skilled with blog writing, content writing, as well as taking care of the back end as order fulfillment and customer service and stuff like that. So my future plans at the moment is to really work with this marketing agency to scale it as best we sort of can, and as aggressive as we sort of can as well, because it's got good percentage of returning customers, and a good percentage conversion rates, about 3 or 4% steady for its whole life, which is pretty good. So there's definitely potential there to scale. So then, once that happens, I'll be looking to work with a virtual assistant and manage that person to probably send an email campaign fortnightly. On the Mondays, I think I want to do an email campaign fortnightly, keep it consistent, a blog post every month, and then new styles, maybe a couple of new styles each week or something like that. I'll really set a structure, get a plan, really sort of teach myself to become more of a manager, and set systems and structures and schedules in place for somebody else who can do these tasks and grow it like that, just to keep the website interesting and moving. And obviously that'll help with SEO, and it'll keep everybody interested if new styles are coming on and all that stuff. So that's where we're at the moment.
Yeah, man. So I'm just sitting back, and I remember the first time we ever talked, I was like, if you had just said all the stuff that came out of your mouth, you wouldn't have, you would, you wouldn't recognize yourself anymore, especially all the stuff that you learned. And for everybody listening, I'm just so stoked to see your growth, because, going from not knowing anything to now. And then a big thing that we do as well before you buy the business is we sit down and we go, all right, what's the strategy you're going to do to grow the business before you actually buy it? Do you remember that, Sam? You actually have a few things where, like, all right, we're going to do this. And the low-hanging fruit that I see that you took advantage of was sending those email campaigns out. That's a huge one. I don't know if we did actually talk about the conversion rate optimization and stuff like that, whether that was a part of the plan, but that's a huge thing for people listening to the podcast. Is like, if you're going to buy a website and there's already so much traffic coming and you're selling products from that site, like a really good low-hanging fruit is doing some conversion rate optimization, right? Like Sam's like linking up the names and the colors. And another really good value add is ensuring that you have really good descriptions for all of the products. And what I mean by really good descriptions is like not just like one paragraph of like describing this is a black pair of shoes that helps you run really fast or whatever. What I'd be doing is I'd be writing out 500 words or more about that particular product, who it's for, who it's not for, what it's not for, and then the customer that's going to buy it is going to have a lot of questions. So I would have an FAQ section, or write in the paragraphs or the description what you're actually, how these shoes can answer, like how that description can answer their questions, right? So that actually is those questions are objections. And if you can objection handle those objections and make sure the person or the customer is actually really understands that shoe or that product or whatever it is right for them or not, then it's going to help them to make a better decision. So if you can help people to make a better decision, that really helps. And in the descriptions as well, like in when you're selling the product, another good thing to do for conversion rate optimization is making sure your images are really good as well. You can even have a video and review the product on the product page, and that's really good for conversion rates. But
yeah, that's right. So if I just jump in there, that's you did actually tell me that about the product descriptions quite early on, and I jumped on board with that straight away, and I've probably done it to 20 to 25 products now. I've done this big product description for them, and there's probably about 50 products as well, which I've added photos of people with that product. So instead of just having a photo of the product on there to buy, you can actually see people with it in the product description. Yeah. And I've had compliments on both of those things from a number of people who have looked over my business. They've all said like they're great product descriptions, and it's awesome that you've got the photos in there. That'll really help for conversions. Awesome. And then I've also actually added a cross sell down the bottom as well, because I was getting quite a number of multiple items purchased, in the same order. So I thought I would try and link that up and make it easier for people. So I've put a down the bottom with a 10% discount, and sort of monitored which items are selling with which other ones, and put those together down the bottom. And they've generated quite a bit of revenue as well since I started doing that. That was a great move.
Yeah, well done. And that's like different ways you can upsell and downsell, right? And good on you for implementing those strategies. And for people listening, about the images that he put on of people wearing the sunglasses, it's not just showing the sunglasses. Like psychologically, those photos are so important because that's called social proof. And when you have social proof, it gives feedback to the public that these sunglasses are actually worth buying and wearing, and they look good. So there's so many things that are said, like a picture tells a thousand words or stories or whatever that quote is. But having really good pictures like that is awesome. And then even having, you can put on your product pages testimonials or of people that have bought them before. A really cool thing for quick conversion rate optimization for people on their homepage is to put their best products or their most popular products on the homepage. So people have to go searching for them and tell them why they're the most popular. And then to also have some testimonials on the homepage as well.
It's really funny that you mentioned that. You're reminding me of all these things that I've actually done to increase the conversions that I forgot to mention earlier, because I've played around with the homepage and I've got a mixture of my top selling sunnies with my newly added sunnies on my first page. And then, so I've also then got a best selling section, which is automatically set up for the top sellers. And I've probably sort of manually customized the first 2 pages of sunnies so that there's a nice combination of top selling sunnies, new sunnies, styles that I can see that people are interested in and selling, but also not just bombarding it with all the top sellers. You want your new styles to be there so that people can see them too, and then they might become your top sellers in a couple of months' time or whatever. And then there was also the reviews as well. So I sent an email campaign out asking for reviews in exchange for a discount, which worked really well. I got a heap of reviews, and then I put together this image slider with the person's Instagram photo and their Instagram name with a link to their page, and then a photo of them wearing the sunnies, and then with their review as well. And I've put that in a slideshow, and I've actually put that up the top of the collection pages so that you see the reviews straight away. And it's pretty much, it's the second, just as you scroll down on the home page of the website too, you'll see the reviews pretty much straight away there for social proof. So that was actually a bit of a tip I got from the marketing agency before I hired them as well, to keep your reviews nice and high so that people see them. If you have, like, they may seem like it looks maybe a little ugly on the page being up the top or a little bit out of order, but no one sees that as being out of order. They see the reviews straight away, and that's what they see and they will read. So it's more important to have them up the top where people will definitely see them rather than put them down the bottom because it looks a bit neater on your page, but then less people are going to see them.
Yeah, exactly. It's not, I was listening to something the other day or learning something the other day, and with conversion rate optimization, it's like, there's a difference between people working in the business and on the business. And people that are working in the website, they may make their website layout comfortable and easy for them to navigate, which is not the ideal thing. You want it easy and comfortable for the consumer and the potential client or customer to navigate, and put the most important things that are valuable to them. It's going to help them answer their questions, because they're coming to your website because they want a problem solved. You want to be able to solve their problem as quickly as possible in the best way, because if you don't, they're going to leave your site. And if you're the best way to, it's pretty much, you own a website that gives value to people. It's up to you. You're supposed to serve these people by giving them the best value and the best solution. So let them know that you're the best possible solution by showing them social proof of people that are buying from you and loving the sunglasses, and showing them the most popular and the newest trends. And you're going to get the best out of your business because you're going to help people the best.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And then that was a big reason why I've put the photos on the product descriptions of the people wearing the sunglasses too, is because So then people might see the style, they might see an ad, they might see a photo of the sunnies, click in, have a look, but then they can't try it on. It's all online, but then they have a look into the product page, and boom, there's a photo of somebody already wearing the sunnies. They can see exactly what it looks like on a person's face.
Yes.
Then they can make a quick judgment call. Yep, that will suit me. That will look cool. Or maybe they're not right for me. I'll keep looking.
Yeah, exactly. So much gold in this conversation for everybody listening, Sam, in how to grow their business once they've bought it. Now you've scaled it up. You've made it extra. I think it was when we first talked, an extra $1,000 a month to the business, and you're going to continue to grow it. Now, working with this marketing agency, like you mentioned something before we hit the record buttons and went on air, and I told you, hold that thought, and I'm going to solve this problem for you. Now, I've done a lot of marketing, as you know, and a lot of Facebook marketing, Google marketing, all the likes of it, and learned a lot of the psychology of marketing. Now, you mentioned that you're getting, so you got some videos created, professional videos created, and that's really good. For everybody listening, the reason Sam got some videos created, and we talked about this, is because that's how people are consuming content these days, not just pictures. Really good videos are really important, really highly quality designed videos and recorded videos. So you've got some amazing videos. I've had a look at those actually, and you're getting some conversions, right? You're getting some people watching them and all that sort of stuff, but you want to get better results. Tell me, what were you talking about, the percentage of people viewed before we hit?
Yeah, so there's about 100 people watch the video up to 25%. This is per day.
Mm-hmm.
and then it dwindles down to 50%. Then less people watch 75%. Then there might be 20 or so who watch 95% of it, and there's around 10% of people who watch the entire video. 10 people per day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the conversions from the videos have been slower than I expected at the moment. However, videos, you have that play to retarget those people in different ways who have seen different portions of your video. And I think that's where the power really comes in, and that's where you really see your return, is when you start retargeting those people who have already seen your video and then they're aware of your brand.
Yeah. So some pro tips for people listening, it's especially in marketing, is that what Sam's saying is you can have people watch some of your videos, and you can retarget them depending on how much of a percentage they watch your videos, and retarget them with another video or another ad or whatever it is. Now, there is talks on, and everybody says different things, but through a customer's journey to buy something, normally they have to have more than just one touch point, and it's multiple touch points. Sometimes people say 5, 6, 7, all the way up to 18 and 20. So it means you can, and the more that they see your stuff and you're seeding the price, you're seeding the product, it doesn't have to be an aggressive sale advert, but the more that that's called really good branding, right? So there's different ways you can do the marketing, but when it comes to Facebook ads in particular, you mentioned that you're getting a fair few people watching up to 25% and then just dropping off. And I've noticed this in my ads as well. And so what I decided to do, and I had some great success in this, is the best way to find out why you're having people drop off and how to prevent that from happening, and making sure you're putting your ads in the right place for the right people. And notice what I said here, putting your ads in the right place. Now, just because you have them on Facebook doesn't mean it's in the right place. Okay. So if you go to into Ads Manager and you go to, I think it's delivery, and you can click on placement.
Yeah.
And by placement, by
newsfeed, right column, yeah,
placement and device, then you can see where your ads are performing best and who's viewing more of your ad on which device and which sort of placement. And there's different placements, and it can be in the news feed, it can be on Instagram, it can be on many different places in the messenger chat, sidebar, all these different places on Facebook, and also in stories and Instagram and stuff like that. It's not just the placement, but it's also the device as well. So it could be maybe they're watching it on Apple iPhone or Android iPhone or a desktop or an Apple Mac or whatever it is. And then what you want to do is, once you've tested your ads to pretty much all of mobile, desktop, and all the placements, and do that for a fair bit of ad spend, it doesn't matter, like you could maybe spend $2, let's say $5 over a week, which is $35. Test it for the same amount of time. So maybe you spend $35 a day. And it's the same type of test. And then it depends on the ad spend equivalent, right? So once you've done that test and you've seen results of where people are viewing this, then go through and you change your ad targeting and placements to just those people on the certain devices, mobile or desktop, or a even more in-depth device like Apple or Android or whatever it is, and then put them in the right placement, whether it's in the news feed or in stories or Facebook suggested videos or sidebars or in Messenger.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
because this is what I've done with some of my campaigns, and I've helped myself get really good results by doing this. And a lot of people don't really know that. So
yeah, that's good. You definitely want your ads to be in the right place to the right people. That's for sure. You don't want to send your ads to people on laptops if only 1% of people are watching your ads from a laptop. You want your ads to be going to people from mobiles, or as you said, more specifically an iPhone or something like that.
Correct. And so you're putting up videos, and sometimes people don't consume videos in the Facebook newsfeed or in stories or in Messenger. Maybe they only view these videos in suggested Facebook videos or suggested view videos.
Yeah.
Or maybe they only watch videos when they're looking at Instagram TV or whatever it is. So where are people liking to watch your videos? And it's a huge thing right now. It's like you need to put your content, and it doesn't matter whether you've got a YouTube video, a podcast, any sort of post at all, but you can't just create really good, valuable content anymore. That's important, but this content needs to be put in front of not just the right person, i.e. audience, but in the right place on where that person actually likes to consume that content, because we're so fussy because there's so much damn content out there these days. Yeah?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And it's almost, it's a lot more specific, but it goes back to a thing I heard when I first started out, like you can't sell discount dog toys to somebody who doesn't own a dog.
Exactly. Right?
It doesn't matter how good the dog toys are. If you don't own a dog, you're not going to buy them.
Yeah, exactly. So moving forward, Sam, what are some of the, you mentioned you want to grow the business by, or build the business by getting a VA and doing some of those other sorts of things. Have you got any questions for me on different approaches you should take on some of the strategies you want to grow? Because I'm sure it's going to be quite valuable for everybody listening as well.
So what I could ask you is probably how you would go about handling and monitoring a VA and making sure they're getting the work done and up to your standard. Now, I know that's obviously where I'll have to keep learning as much as I can to stay ahead of the VA at all times. So I know what's SEO friendly, what's not, what they should be putting in their blogs, how many words, things like that. So whether they know it or not, I do, so that I can look over that stuff and I can set them clear tasks and instructions from the start so that I know the work's going to get done right. But I guess, how do you go from transitioning from being somebody like me who just is running the business by myself and doing everything, to then managing somebody, setting them tasks and deadlines and schedules, and staying on top of that, making sure it's all running smoothly?
Yeah, great question. So one thing is you want to give them some responsibility, but what you don't want to do is you don't want to outsource all responsibility to them, because at the end of the day, you're the one that's responsible for your life and your business.
That's right. Yeah.
So what you want to do is, before you hire them, is you want to understand exactly what it is that you want from them. Okay. And tell them, this is the type, this is what I actually expect. Are you able to do so? When you hire them, then, or even before you hire them, what I want you to do is create some systems, right? And what a system is like, what's the task they need to do? So say they're going to write content for you. You need to say, I want 2,000 words. I want this keyword in the actual title and in the actual post 3 or 4 or 5 times. And then I also want these other relevant words in the post as well. And then you want to show them what it looks like at the start, and what it looks like, what a finalized product looks like, already scheduled in your actual website, ready to be posted. And then you can go away and check it, and what it looks like for them to go away and actually notify you and say, like, look, cool, they have a checklist they need to go through, that the post has absolutely everything that you want from that checklist before you actually go away and do it. And a huge thing that I suggest, you don't hire them based on time, you hire them based on results, right? Because they may say, oh, it's taken me 10 hours to write one article. Cool. But then next week they might be like, oh, it's taken me 5 hours. Or 15 hours, right? Mm-hmm. So they might extend the time out a little bit. So you don't want to pay based on hour. You want to be paying them based on result.
Yeah. So you pay them based on completing the piece of content that you want them to write, not on an hourly rate.
Yeah. So the three big things are: don't delegate all responsibility, but give them some responsibility.
Yeah.
The second thing is, make sure you got your system really, really good, and optimize that and refine it and make it better. Make it better for them and better for you, right?
Yeah.
And then also hire based on result. And lastly is to not micromanage and let your system do the work. So if you're going to say, hey, write 5 blog posts, maybe you have to set them a date, but don't go, oh, how are you doing with the blog post? How are you doing with the blog post? Give them some sort of responsibility to finalize it in a way that may work best for them according to the system you've already created.
Yeah, that's right. And then you can provide constructive criticism to that, or guide them in any way to either edit it or for future posts.
Correct. So optimize. Don't try and change them too much. Change the system.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you try and change them and micromanage them, they just be like, this is so annoying. Like, I'm out of here. Mm-hmm. Or they're just going to stop. If they need the money and they want to keep working, they're just going to stop producing a good result, and you're both going to get frustrated. So just change the system each time and let them know that that's actually going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Sam, I want to finish up by asking you, you said you never would have thought of, being on a podcast talking about buying and building online businesses 2 years ago. Such a massive change, right? You're making thousands of dollars a month from your business. I want to congratulate you for that. What's your goals for the next 3 to 5 years, maybe more, into the future?
My goals are to grow this business for the next probably up to 12 months. My business goals, this is. At the moment, I'm sort of torn between going two ways, and it depends where the business is at in that time, because it's already been established for 2 years. It's got a pretty good, spot in the market, in the niche that it's in. It's well established. So depending, I want to sort of grow that organic traffic a bit over that time, build the brand name as much as I can, so it's not so heavily relying on paid advertising. When that time comes, I'll make the judgment call whether I want to hold on to it or sell it for obviously more than what I've paid for it, and then buy another business. So if I hold on to it, I'll probably want to still save and buy another business, I guess within 24 months or 24, I guess around there, 24 to 36 months, I suppose sounds realistic.
Multiple, you mean?
Pardon?
Multiple. 24.
Yeah. If I decide to hold on to this one, otherwise, I'll probably, if I sell this one, then I'll buy another one. I've got some ideas on maybe not necessarily different niche, but just a little bit of a different structure, like a bit more organic traffic, a bit more of a specifically targeted niche rather than something general like sunglasses. I might go down that path a bit more. So that's sort of my plans there. And then in the meantime, personally as well, I really want to use this time, grow this business as much as I can so that I can get off the tools with plumbing. Planning to move to Queensland up in the sunshine.
Yeah.
Yes. So really looking forward to that. And then once I can fully replace my income and be confident that this is a consistent way of living, it's not going to let me down, and I stop plumbing, I want to use that spare time that I'll have then to just really, really up my skill set, learn as much as I can, so that I can make much better decisions in the future, like business decisions. I'll have a lot more skills and a lot more knowledge to do so. Hopefully all this just creates a snowball effect and just keeps working for me.
Yeah. I don't think we have to use the word hopefully. You've already done the hard work, and mate, it's so awesome to see. So thanks so much for jumping on. For everybody listening, we did talk about buying sites and building them, but you don't want to go away and just buy a lemon, right, Sam? You've looked at so many lemons. So I want to prevent people from looking at bad listings and not going the right way about buying a site. So go away. I'm giving away some free resources, due diligence framework and website evaluator and stuff like that. Go away and grab that from my site, buyingonlinebusiness.com/free resources. Make sure you get those because it's really going to aid in your success. And for everybody listening, thank you for listening. That's it for this episode. Thank you for listening, and please go away, share this if you got lots from it. If you did like it, subscribe so you can be notified when I have more awesome podcasts like this. And if you did like this podcast, leave me a review, please, letting me know what you actually liked about it. Thanks again, guys, and I'll speak to you soon.